facing a number of very important crises. And the only real solution to those crises is socialist revolution. So I'm going to be giving kind of the introductory talk so that we know what we're talking about, so that we know actually what socialism is and what socialism is not. Now, socialism is a very broad term. It's kind of like saying you're a Christian. It means so many things that it's really unclear what it means. And so we have to be very, very careful about what we mean. Second, it's also a term that's demonized. What does it mean when words are demonized? Well, it means that they're used as a label, they're used as a weapon against people, they're used as something that denotes evil. And so socialism is one of these words that's used to make people the enemy. It's a very powerful word for many people because it serves as a bludgeon to beat people with. And so we have to be very, very careful about any word that is demonized, as well as any word that is very broad and vague. So I'm going to try to explain today what socialism is and what socialism is not. First of all, to say that we're socialist in Socialist Action is not the same as what Bernie Sanders says is socialist. For one thing, Sanders isn't opposed to capitalism. And the fundamental economic system that we live under is capitalism. And if you're not opposed to that system, you're not really a socialist. Sanders actually describes himself very accurately as a democratic socialist, or in Europe he would be called a social democrat. Essentially, he thinks that socialism is bad, capitalism is bad, but socialism is something that is going to fix a few of the flaws around the edges. So he's not really interested in fundamental change. He's interested in band-aids. Now, a number of those band-aids are things that we support, universal health care, for example, free, high-quality university education, high-quality universal public education at all levels. These are good things. But fundamentally, Sanders does not oppose the capitalist system. He just wants to make it a tiny bit better. There's a metaphor that is often used to explain this, and it's the metaphor of the pie. So Sanders wants to give working people a little bit bigger piece of the pie. The capitalists want to give us a little smaller piece of the pie. The problem is that the capitalists own the bakery. They're in charge of making the pie, and ultimately they own the pie. And if you're a real socialist, what you want is you want to own the factory that makes the pie. You want to own the ingredients. You want to be in charge of the process of baking the pie. You don't just want a tiny bit bigger sliver. You want, in fact, to own the bakery.